Smart practice owners, Corey here. I wanted to quickly dive in and share with you guys a bit of a live video around the lifetime value of a client and understanding, well, why do we want to know the lifetime value of a client? Why do we want to understand how much people are actually coming and spending with us? And even more importantly, what is the actual value of a lead into the business? Now, talk about lead generation. Leads are basically interest and how much interest is being generated into the practice. Now, to understand our lifetime value, it's a simple formula. It's what's our average dollar sale. So generally, it's the average appointment sale value, and then you times that by your PVA, your patient visit average. So how many appointments are people generally having with you when they engage? And so some clinics have a PVA of 3 and some clinics have a PVA of 10. So what's your PVA? And even more importantly, do you know your PVA? And if you don't, highly recommend understanding what that is for you. So a simple formula to understand the PVA, and an example for you guys would be, so say if the average dollar sale for you was, I'll choose a round number, say $100. Could be 80, could be 90, or just say $100. And your PVA for your clinic is 7. So your lifetime value of a client would be $700. Now, why do we want to know that? Is because when it comes to marketing, we need to know how much we have to actually buy a client. Now, in marketing, the psychology of marketing says that if you give me $3 and I give you $85, how often would you give me $3? All the time. And so it's the same psychology that we need to use when we market our business. Now, I understand that there's certain elements to marketing that are free, like word of mouth. It's always a great way to actively market our business, but the problem with word of mouth and referral-based marketing is it's unscalable. We can't say today, next week I want to generate X, and we can get that, we can have X amount of clients be generated next week through word of mouth, because we'll do it and we'll have no idea actually how to put a number on it. But we can say, if we've got scalable marketing activities active, we can say that we're going to spend X amount of money on Facebook, on Google, on going out there and meeting with potential referrers who could almost refer straight away. We know that we could put a value to that, and that's going to mean that we can produce X amount of clients. And so say we had a lifetime value of $700. How much would you be willing to part with to generate that $700? Would you be willing to spend 20, 30, 40, 50? And if you could guarantee that you could spend even up to $50 to make 700, how often would you spend that $50? And so that's a really important part about understanding our lifetime value. So we actually know how much we're willing to spend in order to buy a customer. Now, the other side of it is understanding what is a lead worth to us. And a lead is someone who's interested and hasn't booked yet, but interested in what we do. And a lead is generated from our marketing efforts. And a lead is generally when, say, the phone rings or we get an online inquiry. And so, for example, if the phone rings and we understand our lifetime value is $700, and we know that conservatively, every time the phone rings, we book at conservatively 50%. And I know some clinics are up 90%. Let's say 50%. Then that we know that that phone call is worth to the business $350. Now, how much more important does that phone become when it rings, when you know you've got $350 worth of value attached to it? And that's before you've even accounted for how much you've spent in having that phone ring. So how important is it to actually get the process right of how our admin team pick up the phone? And how awesome would it be to actually go through activities with our admin team on, hey, look, if we get this right, $700 comes into the business where we can innovate, do cool things together, change the way we do things, help more people, versus if we answer the phone incorrectly and we don't actually make that booking, then we might as well just get that $350 and just throw it in the bin. So we need to understand our lifetime value. We need to understand what is the actual value of the lead, that is the leads that are coming in, so we know how much to spend when it comes to marketing, because marketing is not an expense in business. People look at it as, oh, I've spent X amount on marketing. Now you've invested X amount in marketing. You've spent X amount in marketing because you haven't tested and measured the results of that marketing spend. If we test and measure, we understand the value in which we are pouring into that marketing effort, and we test and measure right, and we know that we can scale buying a client for X amount, which is going to mean X amount for the revenue. Where does it stop? We just keep scaling and scaling and scaling, and we can actually say that we want X amount of clients next week, so we're going to spend X amount this week to gain that amount of clients. We can scale our business daily, and that's where we can pull levers, have control, and that's where business gets fun and exciting. So we know the numbers. Maths sometimes can be frustrating, but simplify it, know the numbers that move the needle in your business, lifetime value, the value of the lead, get your marketing spend right so we can scale it and continue to grow the business forward and in the right direction. I hope that helps. Just wanted to check in, throw some comments down below. Happy to answer any questions. Hope you have a good day. Chat soon. Ciao.